Why strong spirits choose solitude. Musashi's answer. The invisible pain of carrying dormant consciousness around. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine you're walking through a crowd where every voice speaks, but no one truly listens. The noise is deafening not because it's loud, but because it's empty. Perhaps you've felt it. That deep fatigue not from doing too much, but from being too much in spaces that don't see you. Strong spirits carry this silent burden. They feel more, sense deeper, and often walk alone through landscapes of shallow connection. Solitude, then, does not emerge from weakness or social failure. It rises like mist from the heart of those who have poured themselves into others without return. The exhaustion is not social. It is vibrational. It is the soul's cry for alignment when every interaction drains more than it gives. These are not people who dislike company. They are souls who crave depth, and when it is not found, they retreat, not out of arrogance, but necessity. Being surrounded by unconscious minds can feel like breathing underwater. Every word that denies your truth becomes a weight on your chest. Every conversation void of authenticity pulls you further from your essence. Strong spirits attuned to this dissonance choose silence not to escape, but to recalibrate. They do not reject the world. They return to themselves so they may one day return stronger. There is a sacred wisdom in stepping back. Solitude becomes a sanctuary where the noise of collective fear no longer distorts personal truth. In that stillness, they hear their soul again, faint at first, like a whisper beneath layers of inherited expectations. But soon, the inner voice grows louder than the crowd, guiding them home. It is not loneliness they choose, but clarity. The silence is not absence of love. It is the overflow of unreceived lucidity. A spirit awake in a world asleep aches not because it is unloved, but because it has too much love and nowhere to place it safely. This is the invisible pain, not being unseen, but being seen only in fragments. And so they choose solitude, not as escape, but as sacred reassembly. The invisible mistake of romanticizing solitude as strength when it's emotional resistance. Why most people try to fill the void with noise and fail. In the search for meaning, many run not toward silence, but away from it. They fill their days with distraction, endless conversation, glowing screens, shallow commitments, anything to avoid meeting the emptiness within. But emptiness is not the enemy. It is the sacred space before creation. Yet to sit in it requires courage, and most are not taught how to be still with their own soul. The modern world offers noise as medicine, but noise does not heal. It numbs. It delays the moment when truth surfaces from the subconscious. People mistake constant stimulation for vitality, but in truth, it's often a sign of internal fragmentation. The self becomes scattered, 1,000 pieces performing different roles, none of them rooted in authenticity. The result is a hollow life, busy but not full. Strong spirits, however, learn that silence is not emptiness, it is presence. In the quiet, they finally hear what the world drowned out. Their own voice, their own needs, their own truth. This is why solitude is their sanctuary. In silence, they recalibrate. The magnetic field of the heart, as Greg Braden describes, begins to harmonize with the brain. Coherence returns, clarity is restored. To be still is to be sovereign. In stillness, the soul reveals its architecture. The illusions fall away. The pain surfaces, but so does the light. It is through the quiet that the body realigns, the mind clears, and the spirit reclaims its center. It is in this space that the quantum field responds most clearly to intention, because the signal is no longer distorted by fear or noise. Ask yourself, What do I reach for when silence comes? Do I embrace it or try to escape it? In a world that teaches you to fear your own company, choosing silence is an act of rebellion and an act of return, because only in that stillness can the true self rise and speak, and only then can healing begin. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary samurai, was not a man who fled from the world. He withdrew to master the art of being fully present within it. His solitude was not escapism, but discipline, the silence before the strike, the emptiness that gives birth to precision. Many today, however, mistake their withdrawal for power, when in truth it is a shield formed from unhealed wounds. Solitude becomes a sanctuary only when entered with clarity, not fear. It's easy to dress emotional wounds in spiritual language. I prefer being alone, we say, when perhaps what we mean is, I no longer trust connection. This is the quiet tragedy of the strong. They endure so much, and instead of asking for help, they redefine their pain as independence. But solitude used as armor is different from solitude used as alignment. One contracts the soul, the other expands it. There is a sacred difference between sacred solitude and emotional avoidance. Sacred solitude is chosen. It is intentional. It breathes. Defensive solitude is built like a wall, high, cold, unyielding. It hides the parts of ourselves still afraid of being seen, still aching from past betrayals. To romanticize this form of loneliness is to prolong the suffering it was meant to protect us from. True strength. Symbolic metaphor, the bamboo that grows for 5 years in darkness before emerging. Imagine a seed planted in the soil, silent, unseen, untouched by sunlight. For 5 long years, the bamboo does not break the surface. No leaves, no signs of growth. To the outside world, it looks like nothing is happening. But deep beneath the ground, roots are expanding in every direction. A vast, unseen foundation is being laid. The bamboo knows, to grow tall, one must first grow deep. Strong spirits are like this bamboo. Their solitude is not stagnation. It is sacred preparation. While others chase visibility, they nurture the invisible. They endure seasons of silence, trusting that something within is taking shape. Even when misunderstood or unseen, they remain faithful to the inner work. Because they know it's not the world that grants you strength, it's your roots. The ego resists this process. It wants results, recognition, movement. But the soul knows that real transformation is quiet. It happens in the dark, in the unseen chambers of the heart, where no applause can reach. It is in solitude that the spirit fortifies, that old identities dissolve, and the new self prepares to rise. What seems like delay is divine timing, and then, seemingly overnight, the bamboo shoots upward, growing over 20 meters in just a few weeks. But that visible growth was only possible because of the hidden labor. So it is with you. When the time is right, your emergence will be undeniable. But you are not late. You are not lost. You are growing your roots. And that is sacred. Ask yourself, can I honor the season I am in, even if no one sees it? Can I trust that the work I do in silence is creating the life I long for? Because when your soul is ready to rise, it will not need permission. It will rise with the quiet power of something deeply rooted and finally fully alive.